Remember that time that Nacho performed a baptism into a medium-sized bowl of water? Remember that scene where Skeletor launched an entire cob of corn into a dude's eye socket? Remember that time when that POS dirtbag stole the Lord's chips? Remember when Skeletor came out and basically said that he hated orphans? 2006 was a great year for movies, and Nacho Libre is just a perfect prime example of that. You have Jack Black giving one of the most stellar performances of his career. You have Hector Jimenez, who is perfect as a Skeletor. This was a film that truly unlocked Jack Black's full array of acting skills. Simply from the way that he walks and talks, all of his mannerisms, it was all just comedy gold. The film was essentially about a monk that lives in some sort of like monastery. Don't quote me on any of this because I'm not a very religious person. I don't know exactly what their titles were. He basically lives in this monastery and he's lived there for his entire life, but he secretly wants to become a professional wrestler, which is obviously frowned upon by the church. He still decides to go through with it and hide it away from everybody else. And this is where the chaos ensues, and I'm literally not making any of these scenes up, and I'm not adding any of my flavor. There's literally a scene where he baptizes somebody in lukewarm water. It what appears to be like a mid-sized Tupperware utensil or some sort of bowl. There's a scene where he actually eats raw egg as well. There's also another scene where he's going through training and he smudges shit on a Skeletor's eye sockets. That's not, again, not making it up. It's something that actually happens in the film. Keep in mind, 90% of the entirety of this film happens with Jack Black being shirtless. So if you're all about smooth chests and Jack Black nips, then this film is just going to be absolute perfection for you. There's definitely a lot of that going on. Jack Black's character is also the chef for the monastery, and it's definitely a job that he takes very loosely. Most of the monks there, most of the religious leaders have had diarrhea for quite some time, according to them. The film also does a fantastic job of providing us with like real world issues or real world problems, but still keeping a very lighthearted approach to them. After all, some of the side characters are officially orphans, or I should just say that they are orphans. I don't know how you would be an unofficial orphan, so I guess they're just orphans. You guys get my drift. Literally the only real downside, or I would say the only minor nitpick with this film, I've said this before, I don't like films that take sides when it comes down to like politics or religion. So this film does skew a little bit towards the religious side of things. They do sometimes make jokes that, you know, kind of like hint that they're against like atheism and things of that nature. So it doesn't do a very good job of like representing everybody, because the only person that like believes in science is this like skinny, scrawny, homeless dude that would go around stealing like corn chips literally off of the ground. Like, it didn't really matter to this individual that the corn chips were like tainted with whatever was on the floor. This dude would still go munching on some dusty ass chips. And as I said, he's probably the only or one of the only main characters that doesn't really believe too much in religion. He's an atheist. He only believes in science. So I think it's kind of like a jab at people that might not be too religious. But as I said, it's done in a very comedic way. They never really take like a true stance on anything. And I think for the most part, you can just kind of go in there, just enjoy the film for what it is. It's very like slapstick humor. It's very silly. As I mentioned, it rarely takes itself too seriously. It's never really trying to send a message or anything like that. Everything is very above water, if you will. And I actually mentioned this for the Napoleon Dynamite video that I made not too long ago, maybe about a week ago. Depends on how long it takes me to edit this video, because let's be brutally honest, I finish most of my editing while I'm dropping big giant deuces, because I just absolutely hate wasting time, and it's great to multitask while you're in there. But I digress. As I was saying, the same thing that applied to Napoleon Dynamite definitely applies to Nacho Libre. It's a film that you can watch with relatively everybody. I mean, obviously you don't want to watch it with, you know, tiny little toddlers who don't really understand the concept of not smearing shit on somebody's eyes or anything like that, or anything too outlandish. But, you know, kids that are relative age that understand or use logic, I think you can watch them. So I definitely feel like it's a family film. I think it's like rated PG. It doesn't have like anything obscene, anything ridiculous, like no ridiculous nudity or anything like that. So I think it's definitely a family film, which is something that I think it makes the film even that much greater. It's really difficult to make comedy without, you know, dropping F-bombs or just, you know, going all out raunchy nowadays. I also like randomly looked up some reviews and some ratings for this film, and I'm very surprised surprised to see how much criticism the film received. As I mentioned, it's a very lighthearted film, so I didn't think anybody would take it that seriously. My personal opinion, this is one of the best cult classic comedies of all time. It's right up there with Napoleon Dynamite, massively underrated. Not a lot of people have heard about it, so I thought I would make a quick little video just referencing it and letting you guys know why I personally feel like it's something that you must watch and, you know, share it with your family and things of that nature. So let me know in the comment section if you guys have actually watched Nacho Libre, or if you guys plan on watching it. And if you don't, let me know why, but I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one, where hopefully we get back to making some gaming content. I know I've kind of gone away from that a little bit here and there, but I promise more gaming content on the way. Stay tuned, stay safe out there. Thank you guys for tuning in.